Hey everybody, Masticon here. We're going to be looking at playing in some Manor Lords. I got kind of this new idea. I've already made my setup here, but what I want to do is kind of build out what this would look like if you had a persistent world and you were just trying to hold your borders. So first off, I want my AI to be aggressive coming in and kind of really being something you got to deal with. I want raiders to be in there often. I want that to happen. So let's jump in and play some Manor Lords. So my goal here is just kind of go along the river and eventually build up a strong settlement there and defend the edges. So let's see when we start in here what we got. We are starting with a solid ore deposit there. There's a little bit of wild animals, so that's pretty good. We've got clay there. So this isn't a bad starting tile overall. I do have mushrooms. It's a 55. That can help a bit. It's a little light on food. Let's go ahead and check and see on the... oh, wow. Okay, so this is actually a plot that we can go ahead and farm on really well. So it's going to have high emmer fertility, high flax fertility, and high barley fertility. Yeah, it looks like right here is kind of a good flax area. There's another one. It looks like, and then we got a good barley right across the middle too. Could probably drop a little bit down there if we wanted to. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's going to be a pretty good area to build. Kind of hard to see in here where those lines actually are in the forest, but we'll probably cut down that entire forest before too long. Looking at some of the other areas, that's a solid rich stone, so that's pretty good. High mushroom, that's not bad. This is the up here we got fish and just fish really. That's a kind of too bad zone there, but oh, this is another fertile zone, so that's another one you could produce a lot of food from and be pretty useful. Down here we've got the salt, and okay, we got clay. So that means kind of in the 4 territories I want to have, I've got all 4 major resources. So this is a pretty solid thing, and there's, yeah, we got good clay and good salt over there. So those 3 across the middle are pretty solid for everything we need. Let's see, the enemy territories here, they've got an iron, that one looks like it has a clay and a stone, which again would be pretty useful. Our goal is not to take that. And then we got berries and fish. That one's just like food and food and food for days. So that's not... yeah, we're not worried about what's in those because those are not actually what we want to go ahead and take. Our goal is to basically kind of build up walls along the river and see what we can do to persist there. So what I see here is definitely pretty good. I'm a little sad they've got one there that's got the stone and clay, which would be a pretty nice area, but the 3 across the river that I kind of need are great, and then I can kind of have a big farming community back behind. But my starting zone is fantastic. The starting with high clay, high iron, and as well as the fertility. It's just going to be a food issue. Those mushrooms might help us get through the first year, but it's going to be a little rough. So let's go ahead and start building here. So the first thing we really want to look at, we got to get a logging camp down, and we're probably, let's see, what do we got here? Probably going to drop it in this little passage off to the left here. We got there's our stone, we've got our wild games down below, and then that rich mine up there. So we're going to go ahead and then way over on the side. Yeah, so we're going to drop this logging camp in right here and just kind of tuck it back into the forest a little and get that going. So the ideal start here we're trying to do is we want to get that logging camp going so we can get the extra wood, and then we also want to go ahead and get the our first six burgage plots in. So that's kind of the first starting point. So we're going to go ahead and let me lay out some roads here and just kind of figure out what the overall flow is going to be. I think this is going to be the kind of the main drive across here. We'll have one that kind of heads over towards the logging camp. This one's probably going to head off down the way to all the way over to our mushrooms and eventually the clay pit, and where those barley fields and flax fields are going to end up eventually. So we want to get that logging camp first because we need it in order to get the wood to produce the 6 burgage plots. And the 6 burgage plots starting off really are kind of the most important thing. And when I start off, I definitely want these burgage plots to have room for the backyard area like this. So, you know, we've got the space there, and that allows us to upgrade them and decide, okay, at some point we're going to put in chickens, or we're going to put in pigs, or we're going to upgrade them to do other stuff. A lot of people like to put in kind of the double the double nature plots where you can fit 2 families. That actually isn't best for most things, so I actually prefer smaller burgage plots in general, and so that's kind of what we're starting with. Now, something else. This game is just kind of gorgeous. You'll see here, I really want to get that first cow going. That first oxen coming in is really important because otherwise it just takes so long to haul everything you need, and it does take a while for it to actually show up. So it's important that comes in and you get that going pretty much as soon as possible. We're going to need another hitching post for it too, but that don't need that for a while. It turns out actually you probably don't need that for a few months because everyone's going to be using the oxen consistently to drag stuff around, but I'm going to put it in anyway, just kind of drop it over here somewhere. So if you watch as it's going, it's neat because you get to see all your people moving through and kind of traveling around to see them. The oxen's going to go pick up another log to bring over to the logging camp so we can get that going. Once we get that going, we're probably going to want to put at least 2, maybe 3 of our people there just to start producing all of that, all the wood we're going to need. And again, our goal is before the end of March here, we want to get all 6 burgage plots built so that we have room for a family to move in. Kind of the ideal way you do this start, you're looking at getting the 6 burgage plots in, and then by the 1st of April and then by the 15th of April, you want to make sure you get the storehouse and the well built, and then that'll start ticking up your approval so that you can actually get what you need to be able to get that approval above 55%, and you'll get a second family in April. I do just kind of love watching these guys build here, just kind of ticking through. A lot of people run this game on higher speeds, and I feel like while there's times where that may be appropriate, you kind of, if you're really doing the cozy building thing, you don't really want to just jack up the speed a whole bunch and watch everybody speed around. It's more kind of like sit back, enjoy, and, you know, chill and just kind of see what's happening as it goes. So logging camp is just about finished here, and we're gonna put people on that right away. We do want that to start working. We got that hitching post in already. Didn't even see that. Okay, logging camp is here, so we're gonna stick some people in here just to start getting that wood chopped down. But we still really do need to build these houses, and the nice thing here is where I set this up, you'll notice it's kind of like right across the street from where our wood already is, so that'll be coming pretty quick to move over and slide over. Now, the one disadvantage with starting off like this is all your stuff does just kind of have to sit out in the open for a while. Doesn't really matter for the firewood, doesn't really matter for the stone. Tree goes down. Oh, look at him chopping that down. Fritz, take that tree down. Awesome job, Fritz. 1 in a million. So, the disadvantage is your food is going to sit out, and that can actually spoil a bit if it rains. You can lose some of that starting food. We do have a lot of sources for food around. The big concern I have here, though, is those mushrooms are just so far away. So, uh, so right over here is where I'm going to look at eventually setting up the manor. And kind of can see the other bridge where I want to build build another kind of fort there to defend. And then we got one here. So I'm gonna have to kind of take that whole area in the middle as for a manor, and get that set up. There's one more bridge. Let's see if I can find that. So we got fish not too useful. That other bridge is actually pretty far away. It's all the way over and around, way down at kind of the very bottom of the map over there. Oh, we got fish here. We got that's the mushrooms. Got fish here. A lot of fish over there. Oh, there's another plot finishing up. So that's 2. Oh no, that's my first one. So, and I'll get a family to move into that one pretty much right away here. Now that camp won't go away, so I kind of can't use any of that area until I get everything else built. I'm out of timber, and if I get these built and I'm out of timber, I might as well stick a third person into the logging camp. Kind of want to balance that out, because you don't want to be swimming in wood and be behind on building. You don't want to have a situation where you just have a bunch of people who can't do anything. You'll see that cow's just sitting there. Cow can't do anything right now because nothing to move, and we don't have the wood. One thing about this is you may be tempted to be like, well, I need a well and I have one wood, but the reality is we really want to get those burgage plots set up on time. We want to get those as early as we can. So that's a big goal as far as putting everything into place. So yeah, bump this back up to a third person, since right now there's not a whole lot going on. We cut down one more tree, we'll be able to drop in another thing. So let's get some roads out here. Let's kind of lay out. Let's see, I kind of don't want that to go straight into the middle of that camp. So yeah, I don't think I like this. Probably do it further in and just kind of create an area. I kind of like to create this center market square in the middle where I put the market and the tavern, and try to put the church somewhere nearby, put the well in there, put a granary and a storehouse, and that just kind of puts everything close by. So kind of building that here, cutting it off, giving a place to put in a couple of buildings. So we're finishing our third house here. Again, that goal is to get up to 6, and we should hopefully get enough wood to drop in one more house pretty soon. So that's kind of what we're waiting for. Again, this is a place a lot of people just hit that speed up button, but it's kind of nice to just sit and watch and enjoy. You could go through an entire year if you're willing to speed it up. The whole thing would only take you, maybe 20 minutes at high speeds, but I like to sit back and enjoy and just kind of see what's going on, watch everything step by step as it goes along. So we do have one wood that's been brought back, but we're still just sitting with that one timber, so we really can't set up that next thing. And one question I always have is, do I want that third oxen early on, drop in another hitching post? Because you'll notice right now I've got everything built, but do I, so the people who are there we go, that's the last of that burgage plot. I'm going to move this hitching post, kind of get it out of the way, because I don't really like where it is, and eventually I want to be able to build in that center area, and this shouldn't take too long. With those two people who aren't doing anything, they can move over. I did get another wood, so I can probably go ahead and build in, let's build in this other house. I dislike building single houses, because when I try to do this, you'll see it doesn't really work. So you got to go bigger to build a single house, or take off your snapping. But I'm actually going to drop in a big house here. I think one big house, especially if you're going to have an area where you're doing a whole lot of baking or something, could be useful to have in town like that. I kind of like to get my central, the bakery and things like that right around that town square, the blacksmith, the armorer, the butcher. I like having those all kind of in close to what's going on. So, and we do have another wood, so we're really That'll be 4. So ideally, I'll be able to get 2 more. And let's see where we are at. I just wanted to see where we're going to build. I think it's going to be over right along the road there. That's where I'm going to build out. I could do stuff up there later on, but I kind of think this is where I want to build eventually, put in that farm. Again, I need a lot of people to get a farm, and really the goal is to get all of that in so that in September you can start plowing and planting and that whole process. Again, you need to get it planted before it starts snowing. That's kind of the big goal. One interesting thing about these bigger plots is they don't take anything more up front, so if you kind of are anticipating wanting a bigger plot, there's no reason not to just go ahead and drop it in right away. That basically works out totally fine. Alright, so I think that gets me up to about 3 wood right now. I can't fit 3... See, can I? No, I'm not going to be able to fit 3 in here. I could make another big one. I think I want to drop them on the other side. Maybe along the side. Yeah, just to get a few more houses in. And one more I'll be able to get. Well, I really only need... let's see. If I drop in 2 more, I'm at 4, 5, 6, 7. So dropping in 3 more would give me all the way up to 7, which would at least prep me through the month of August the month of April once they all got built. So I think that'll be fine. I just need them to knock down 1 more tree. That's the piece where, again, a lot of people they'd be like, oh, let's just speed it up and do it. Oh, yeah, I'd love to be able to fit it here. I didn't quite put that in the right place. I'd love to be able to make a bigger one or just move it over. Probably just drop it off a little further over. It'll get over there eventually. Now that'll give me more room to be able to drop in. And I do kind of like the idea of sticking those next 2 right here, rather than waiting. Yeah, so these 2 here, that gives me the 6 that I need in order to hit it. And later on I can drop some more. So when I get the 6, that means the next thing is I need the well, which should be pretty easy afterwards, and then after the well, the storehouse. And so those are the 2 things I kind of need to get built. Let's see, where can I put well? Oh, okay, well can go just right in there. That's great. Kind of like having that well in the town square, and I'll upgrade it eventually and drop another well somewhere. Wells are so cheap, they're kind of, you put them wherever you want. I did find out that you want wells close to your forager, the ones that plant, not forager, your the ones who plant trees. If you guys are planting trees, you want to put a well next to that. Now the well is not as high as importance as getting the burgage plots. Again, we've got to get those burgage plots by the 1st of April. Hey, look at this cow. That ox has a really unfortunate name. Oh, wow. Yeah, random name generation can be wild, especially across foreign language. Here's to you. You've got a rough life, oxen. All right, so we're going to need our storehouse here. We've got the well down. We're also going to want a marketplace, at least an initial, just little, yeah. See, I got the stuff in the way there. So I'm just going to drop a little temporary marketplace, and I'll move stuff around later. I don't need that much there. That should handle it just for now, and then once all the stuff moves away. And then I've got my well, so I need to build in my storehouse. So next up here is gonna be to look at the storehouse. The storehouse is pretty cheap, so I'll just drop that in right over nearby. Once the stuff is moved out of the way, I can expand that marketplace to kind of fill in the void in between those 2. So that'll be good. And that needs to be lower priority than the houses, because again, those houses, I want all 6 of those houses in by the 1st of April. Right now we're at the 22nd of March. So that gives us 8 days to be able to put in, and it looks like we should be getting there without too much of a problem, because we've only got, yeah, we just got to finish those 2 up. They've already got all their supplies, so that should be fine. And yep, he's dropping that off. One thing you want to be careful of is if there's something you really need built and you have other plots down that need wood dragged to them, one of your construction workers will be dragging wood around rather than working. Now it's just one, or if you have 2 oxen, 2, but realize that they're not kind of following the priority order. They're going to be busy hauling stuff to where it needs to be. Wild games over there. Let's see, my mushrooms. That's the clay. Mushrooms here, up to 55. This is kind of an unfortunate area. I think I'll drop, yeah, I got to put a foraging hut about here. It's a long walk over there, but I could build it way out in the forest there, but that just feels even like an even further walk. Maybe I'll put a couple houses out there once we get there too. Okay, so we got 6 timber. We got more timber, which means we can start looking at things like our granary, but that really isn't important yet. And so there's small village, and we've got that. So we can go ahead and pick our first development point. Now this is kind of interesting. The smallholders is fine. Not really great for what I'm doing here. I do have all the smiths. So the smiths in Passau look really good. This is have a decreased livestock efficiency, which does hurt, but it's also like for making money, it's really good. So it's a pretty good place if you're just going to be outputting a whole bunch of like weapons to sell. The armor is pretty good for this too. Nothing else here really meets what we're doing. Also we're likely to have most of our militia in the middle here, so the equipped militia providing approval is also decent. It will make it a little harder to handle the meat side of things, because our only source of meat here is going to be backyard farms. And so we're going to have a lot of those. And I mean, really kind of an offensive number of backyard farms for this whole thing to actually function. All right, so next is going to be putting in our granary. And with the farm eventually going to be out there, I'm going to stick the granary kind of on that side. Not sure where I'm going to put the mill yet, but I may put it not too far from there. And this last burgage plot, we just want that to finish up really quick here so we can go ahead and be ready for our new family moving in. There we go. That is it. We have one available, and hopefully moving comes in soon. Oh, hey, look, you got little bunnies. They're adorable. I do really love how this game looks. The kind of fact that you see everything, even though you don't need to, just kind of, I don't know, it's fun to sit back and enjoy. All right, so our next main goal here, we've got our burgage plots, so we're gonna get an additional person to move in. We are gonna need another one in order to get our move in by the 15th of April, but in order to do that, we need to have the approval increase. So that's kind of the important order of things. We do have the timber for it, so we're good. I wonder if really I should have built that that 7th house. I think that 7th house is what I should have built. Now I'm trying to figure out some roads here, and I'm not sure exactly where I want everything to go. Eventually it's all got to kind of come down to that area and tie in. But, yeah. Alright, so we can see the storehouse is coming along. That's almost done. As soon as that happens, we'll start seeing the tick up of our approval. Now this is the primary thing here is you need to have the market stall with the firewood. That's what kind of does it on that side. And the well is another easy because it'll give everyone water. So we got the new message here where we got the parts to be able to go ahead and build our army. So we can actually go ahead and start construction. Have some soldiers. It's just basic spearmen, but yeah, we got what we need to be able to do that. I am kind of waiting to make sure that everything happens on time here. And we are going to need that extra house. So I'm going to build a road kind of cutting this into a couple of pieces so that I can have some additional houses kind of facing that town square. Oh, and we did get the granary. It looks like we got that done. So need to get someone assigned into that as soon as possible. So yeah, we're going to need these houses. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's just letting us know. Let's form that militia. Again, we do get approval for this, so that's actually a good thing for us to do as soon as possible. And I mean, all you can do is build spearmen. So now we've got the storehouse and the well. So hopefully we'll start seeing things tick up slowly on the approval. And we can get everything. Yeah, we got water access going now. So it's just a matter of getting the firewood to the firewood stall, or to the store stall there. But we have hit. We've hit our 6. We've hit our goal. So that's all looking pretty good. I think we're just going to carry these roads, kind of have some parallel roads running through in this direction for a while, probably. At some point, we got to figure out, we got to start gathering food, because those foragers are going to be pretty important. But we're also going to need firewood. And I think this is the next area I'm going to work on clearing. So I'm going to put a firewood sword now, right about here. And just kind of clear the back end of this. I don't want to put it over close to. It won't actually cut off the wild game there, but I don't really want to just like leave it to munch through all of that. And just have this weird looking pocket. So at some point I'll direct it or move it further down the hill. So we're gathering everything in. We still need to get the firewood in, and we did get some of the stone already. We got the food and that granary. We do want to get, the thing with the granary is they got to move all the rocks over, and that takes some time, and that's kind of slow. Also, everybody's coming and picking up their shields and their spears now. Let's have them putting together their arms for at home. Now, I don't have enough people to actually go and deal with the bandit camp over there, which is too bad, because I would like to get that before the NPCs do. I'd love to go over there and just knock them out really quickly. Oh, and there we go. We got that first family in. And so we now have, we're at 6 families. So we did meet that on time. Now it's really important right after that, before I even finish that granary, I really need to make sure I get the additional, burgage plot ready for them. And so I've got my approval sitting at that 52. And yeah, just kind of need to get that built as a top priority. When you look up there, you definitely can see worried about food. Food's going to be a tough thing until I can get that plot. And even then, it's so far away once I get the foragers out there. So all of that's going to be a kind of sticking point as we get through. Hopefully we'll get enough to make it through winter or start making some money so that we can get some pigs in there. I do really want to get this done by May, or by the 15th. So hopefully that's going. They got the 2 logs there, so now this is again, see, I got the guys, and they're going to carry all those logs out and try to set them up. So I'm actually down 2 of my farm workers. They're 2 of my construction workers, which is a few more than I would like. We also have not yet gotten that approval up to that 55% where we want it to be, which is really the goal, is to get that up to 55 so we get another person in April. All right, there. picking up the last of the firewood here, hopefully, and then hopefully they'll take it over and set it up in the stall, and that'll kind of run up the approval sum. And yeah, that's the 6 there. You can see, Bartlemus. It looks like he's going to take some stuff, and so we'll have it at the stall, and it'll be available, and hopefully that'll push us. We're at 53, kind of racing with 3 different games right now. We want to get that approval up to 55, as well as we want to get the slot open in the additional burgage plot. Yep, that looks aligned. It's moving, and this burgage plot is almost done, which I think means we're pacing it just about right. I think the next main thing we got to worry about is food. We're going to want to make sure we start getting food pretty quick here, but this is the last piece we're going. You may notice here you can't see in the bottom right, it actually has the clock and calendar and all that, and that is not visible currently. I had the this is going back. It looks like my settings are a little off on OBS to record here, so I'll get that one fixed for the future, and hopefully we won't have that problem further down the line. We do have plenty of firewood for our families. They do go through. I think each burgage plot will go through a firewood. I think there's some advantages of when you combine things that it's not as crazy. So I've got to get my my hunting camp here, and I don't want it there. I think, yeah, I don't think I want to tuck it in that. It seems weird to have it kind of right next to town. I think I'm going to build a road here, and just instead extend this out, and then just kind of drop it down at the end. Eventually, maybe put a stone camp out here to clear that. Yeah, running out of food, which we knew was coming. One thing about the hunting camps is they don't really take a whole lot to build. There are no supplies, so there's something you can just rip into pretty quick. We do have all this rain coming down. I'm a little curious how much bread we're losing because of it. But we do want to get that done so we can get the bread out of the rain. Nobody likes rainy, wet bread. There's a point where you just kind of have to go through and settle your priorities. You know, get, okay, what is right now is the highest priority? What's our second priority? What's our third? And reset that sort of all the way through. And our approval is up and over. We're at that 56. So we've got goods variety as well as with the well. So that means we will continue to get families in, assuming we have room for them. So the key is just to make sure I have room for them eternally, and that way I can always gauge. So that first year you can get to the point where you're gaining to a family, 2 families per month if you're above 55%. So that's kind of the goal and the marker, is to hit that while still making your forward progress. Again, that can cause you some problems with food down the line here. You'll notice I don't have a whole ton of food. I don't have a lot of food coming in, but after that first year, you'll be generating food pretty quickly, especially here where I can have a granary, and that'll just mass produce food. All right. Well, this has been pretty successful. Pretty happy with it. Seem to be hitting our markers. I don't want to. What are they doing? Oh, they're all dragging stuff rather than working on the granary. The granary's moving really slow, even though it's my highest priority thing. It just well, for one, it needs rocks, and these guys are carrying rocks right here, right? Yeah, he's transporting stone. So it takes a lot of stone. You got to carry it over. Maybe there's some reason to stick that early granary right next to the storehouse, so you don't have to take the rocks around the corner. That takes some time. But that's what we're waiting on now, is getting all the rocks. And we do have a lot of places to drag a number of other things. Woodcutter. I don't really need the woodcutter this month, but I'm going to need it afterwards. So I think the hunting camp to start gathering that food is important. Yeah, I think getting buildings going is more important than, I mean, we have plenty of wood, of logs right now. So just keeping that piece going is kind of the overall goal, is keep all that moving forward. I think that'll be the last log for a house, so I think in the near future we'll be pretty set up for houses. And this is at that point, you just kind of wait and look around and enjoy watching your minions do the thing. So each of those are ready to go. The woodcutter's camp doesn't need a lot, but that is kind of a way out of town that we're gonna have to drag things. I'm really concerned about that forager's hut I'm gonna have to build because it's just so far away. Let's start to see a little picture of what does the town look like. It's looking like a little village. It's moving along. It's turning into something. Okay, now we can see that granary is finally coming together where looks like they got the rocks they need, or they got most of the rocks they need. Looks like that's been the major holdup, so hopefully those guys bringing it in. Alright, so this is going to be my farm. I need to not invade on the wild animals. I actually like to lay out the farms before I even build a farmhouse and get the roads and things like that kind of into place. So I know what's happening there. As soon as that granary is done, I am going to want to get someone assigned. I generally want to get all the stuff out of the rain, but I don't leave someone assigned there right away for that long, because there isn't that much food to move around. You kind of need to drop someone in and out occasionally, but you don't focus on it too much. Generally, is kind of fun as it is. Alright, so granary is going to finish up here, and then we need to make sure we get a house well, we still have one open, so that'll be our mid-April family. Should be hopefully coming up pretty soon. I'll hit that. I still have that hitching post that I moved a while ago and no one's gotten to fixing yet, because they've all been busy with everything else. I do think it's important not to kind of overbuild out in the future, because things you kind of won't make use of them for a while. So, okay, good. We're going to get that hunting camp. This goes really fast, because they don't have to bring anything. So they're all just going to come over here, give this a thump together, and then I can get some... do I want to get someone... I need to get someone out there, because I need some food coming in, but, like, I'm only sitting on two families, and I really have a lot of construction. Oh, there we go. There's our mid-April family, or our, mid-April family. So that gives us a lot more that we can work with. That'll speed things up, and we'll be able to stick someone into the hunting camp. And again, that hunting camp just doesn't take very long. Hey, hunting camp, we're in. Good job. And we're going to control the herd here. I've seen some different things. I've seen that you want to keep it at about 60%. I've seen that you want to leave it at 10 or more. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. I do need to get my forager's hut. I think that's too far away. Yeah, no, let's kind of just drop it in, but let's make sure we're not on. Yeah, I don't want to be on that high flax fertility, and we're not going to be on the barley. So just kind of tucked into the forest up by that clay is where we want that to be. Not worried about the emmer. There's good emmer everywhere, but right about here is where we want that to go. So we're just going to drop the forager hut right along the main line there, and that's where that's going to go now. It's going to take them forever to get to build that, but it is a pretty hard priority because it's our main source of food right now. We'll be able to pull in so much more food there. Again, just that 55 food, if we had it, would basically be able to feed our entire family for like all of our families for 8 months. Of course, over those 8 months, we're probably going to double in size, so it's going to take a while. But we definitely want to get as much of that in as we can. All right, our granary is happening, and we're picking up all the bread. So it looks like all the bread is gone and in place. So we don't really need anyone at our granary anymore. That's not really our priority. We do want to make sure we got someone at our hunting camp. And yeah, I don't know whether this should be a 9 or a 10 or exactly what number it should be at. I don't know. Hey, if you know, drop something in the comments. Let me know what the actual math behind that is. They're also not working there yet. Go hunt, get some animals, do some things. Oh, this forager hut. Like, I need the food, so that's got to be really important. But I absolutely have to get one more house built because right now I don't have a spare for the May family moving in, which should be soon. And we do want our woodcutter's lodge to happen. That looks like it's got everything it needs, but it still isn't our highest priority. I think right now this is our highest priority, is to get one more house in. I've only got 3 families working, so the construction should go pretty quick, but those way out there are just going to take so much time. But overall, I'm happy with how this is going. Our approval's up to 57. Our food and our fuel is going to be a problem. Hopefully the hunters, are they actually hunting yet? Let's see. Gathering, getting resources, transporting, hunting. Okay, good. So, is that guy named the same as a cow? I think he is. Okay, good. They'll put this one together pretty quick here. That'll get that finished up. So that's kind of the last thing we're looking at there. And I think once we hit next month and make our May family increase, it's gonna be time to go ahead and stop. So we're finishing this burgage plot so we have room for them, getting us to 8 families. We finally do have some builders heading over there. It's so far away. I do want to put a house out there too, so people aren't having to go back and forth as far, but that's going to be brutal. All right, so let's extend some roads out here. We want to kind of get a separate path out to that area. I may end up having to delete or change some of this when it comes time to drop in the all the farms that are going to be out there, because that's all going to be farmland down that way eventually. Obviously not yet. Okay, so that's the burgage plot. We have our extra burgage plot. So now it's woodcutters and foragers are the 2 things we really want to work on. I don't have people doing much else. I've got 2 people at the logging camp, 1 at the hunting camp, and that is about it. Woodcutter's Lodge, hopefully we'll finish up. Because I would assign one of the Woodcutter's Lodge just to start getting that going. Early on, if you get a Woodcutter's Lodge and your charcoal pit, you can kind of alternate someone back and forth between those, and that'll handle most of your needs. Alright, I'm going to drop one more house. I do one house out here, and do I want to put it heading in? I kind of don't like that. I think I'm just going to tuck one kind of into the forest over here. Oh, I don't know where to put it. I don't want it to be like right now. Yeah, just drop it in. Is this going to work? Ooh, 2 houses? Nah, I don't think I want 2. I think that's going to be too much. Do I want a big house here? I'm actually not sure whether I want a big house or not. I mean, eventually being able to stick people out here, maybe easier to just go with one bigger house out here that I can eventually upgrade. And again, this is not the highest priority right now, but once they get done dragging everything else in, okay, there goes our wood. So let's get a worker on there. You don't need to drop in a bunch early on. You don't go through that much, and I think each person will generate 15 or 20 wood, so that's per month, which is way more than you're possibly going to use early on in the game there. All right, so let's set that down, because again, I want one out there, but I don't think it's urgent. Looks like we've used up a lot of, we're down. We have 2 food as a whole society. Let's see here. We do want to get this burgage plot up a bit because we do want to make sure we have space come. Let's see, we're at 7, so that's mid-May. Or that's mid-April, so 1st of May, we want to make sure we can get our 8th. So hopefully that'll come right in here. I am thinking about this trading post idea. I probably want a trading post out here along the road. That's not a trading post. Oh, there we go. And just to stick it, that's probably where I want it, so people coming and going, they're kind of along the King's Road. Or I actually kind of like the idea of it being right off the King's Road, like it's on the King's Road, but right around the corner. Should be able to put a couple of pack stations or a couple of hitching posts nearby. This is not a priority, but it's kind of nice to just get it out there and, you know, be ready to move along. How's this coming along? Oh, we got our wood out there, so now we just need the people to actually go ahead and build it. So once that happens, we can start getting some of the sweet mushrooms to be able to function. You know, yeah, we got this big area we cleared here. It's pretty nice. Starting to kind of come together as a little village. Next steps here, we definitely need to get the burgage plots up and going, get the foraging going, and start bringing in some food. And then it's going to be just kind of upgrading our production line a bit. We're getting 3 and 3. Yeah, that doesn't produce a lot of food. It is enough that it's worth having a family assigned because you're getting more than a family's worth of food out of it. So it is like a net positive, but nowhere near what it could be if, nowhere near what it could be if it was a bigger node there. So, looks like we do have someone out there building here. So we are gonna get this done, get our additional worker in, and I think call it a day. It's a pretty long video we got here. Again, it's fun to just kind of sit back and watch it, enjoy the time as it goes by. Oh, so we got our ox is taking in an additional piece. Oh, we got another ruler's army coming in. Let's see what that's all about. So, there's our camp over there. Here we go. Okay, so Hildewald's bringing in some men to probably deal with that raider camp. I'd like to deal with it first, but I don't know that I have. Oh, he's really far away, but I just don't have the people to pull it off. I cannot run a big enough group that I'm comfortable fighting that yet. So it looks like we're gonna end it here, and tomorrow we'll deal with what's happening with Holdewald's men and what's coming next.